All right, welcome. Today we're going to break down a VA benefit that, honestly, so many veterans have earned but just aren't receiving. It goes way beyond that standard 100% disability rating. We're talking about special monthly compensation, or SMC. And listen, if you've got severe service-connected conditions, this is absolutely something you need to know about. So let's kick things off with a question that I get asked all the time. You know the feeling, right? You fight for years, you finally get that 100% rating, and you think, okay, that's it, I've hit the ceiling. But is that really true? The answer might genuinely surprise you, and, getting this right could literally be worth thousands of dollars every single month. Yeah, look at that number. That is the monthly rate for one of the highest levels of SMC. And no, that is not a typo. It's more than double the standard 100% rate. This right here proves that for veterans with the most severe conditions, 100% isn't the ceiling. It's really just the floor. So here's what we're going to cover today. We'll break this whole system down step by step. We're going to start with what SMC even is, then get into the foundational add-on, SMC-K. After that, we'll talk about the levels for when you need help. That's S, L, and R. We'll cover stacking and those in-between rates, how to actually prove your need, and then finish up with the highest level, SMC-T. All right, let's do this. Okay, so let's really dive in. What exactly is special monthly compensation? Well, think of it like this. Your standard VA rating, the percentage, that's all about how your disabilities affect your ability to work. SMC, it's a whole different ballgame. It's a separate, tax-free payment that's designed to compensate you for the impact on your life, your actual quality of life, the loss of use of a limb, the need for daily help, the profound ways your life has been changed. Right. And the official definition here really gets to the heart of it. Your standard rating is about loss of earning capacity. That's VA speak for not being able to hold down a job. But SMC, that's about compensating for the loss of personal independence. It's about the need for another person to help you get through the day. And understanding that one difference, that's the key that unlocks these much higher levels of pay. Okay, now let's talk about what is probably the most unique and, honestly, the most accessible level of SMC. It's called SMC-K. And you really got to get this one, because it's like the foundational building block for the whole system. It just works completely differently from all the other levels. So here's the absolute core difference, the thing you have to remember. With standard VA pay, right, a higher rating just replaces a lower one. You go from 70 to 100, you get the 100% pay. Simple. But SMC-K, it's an add-on. It's extra money stacked right on top of your existing disability check. Doesn't matter if you're at 10% or 100%. It gets added on. And it's the only level of SMC that works like this. So, who actually qualifies for this? Well, here's the list. It can be for the anatomical loss, like an amputation of a hand or foot or an eye. But here's the key phrase: loss of use. This is so important. It means the body part is still there, but functionally, it's no better than if it were gone. And that last point on the list, loss of use of a creative organ, that is probably one of the single most overlooked benefits in the entire VA system. Seriously. Okay, let's talk about a super common example, erectile dysfunction, or ED. So many veterans have this as a secondary condition, maybe from PTSD or meds, and the VA often rates it at 0%. Now, what do we all do when we see a big fat 0% on a rating letter? We think, well, that's worthless, and we just move on. And let me tell you, that is a massive, massive mistake. Because that 0% rating for ED, that is the loss of use of a creative organ, which means you are entitled to that SMC-K payment. We're talking about an extra $140 a month tacked right onto your check. And here's the best part. If the VA should have granted this when they first rated you for it, but they missed it, well, that can lead to a really nice back paycheck. All right, so we've covered K. Now let's shift gears and talk about the SMC levels that go beyond just the loss of one function. We're getting into the territory of needing daily care. These levels are for veterans whose conditions are so severe that they actually need regular help from another person just to get through the day. So it's really important to get the difference between these two main levels. You've got SMC-S, which is housebound. Think of that as being about where you are. You're pretty much stuck at home. Then you have SMC-L, which is aid and attendance. That's about the help you need. It's about needing another person's hands-on help. And because that reflects a much greater need, aid and attendance, SMC-L, it pays more. So what does the VA actually look for when we say aid and attendance? Well, it's these things right here. It's the need for help with what they call activities of daily living, or ADLs,
We're talking about basic stuff like bathing, getting dressed, eating, using the bathroom. It could also mean you're permanently bedridden or, and this is a big one for cognitive issues, you need someone to supervise you just to keep you safe from day-to-day hazards. If any of that sounds familiar because of your service-connected issues, you might qualify for SMC-L.
Okay, now this is where things can get a little complicated, I'll admit, but stick with me because this is also where your compensation can really, really jump up. The VA has the system for veterans who have more than one severe disability. It's all about stacking them to get to what they call intermediate rates. And this chart shows exactly how it works. It's called the half-step rule. So let's say you already qualify for SMC-L. Maybe you're bedridden. If you also have another separate disability that's rated at 50%, the VA doesn't just ignore it. They bump you up to an intermediate rate called L.5. Now, if that separate condition is rated at a full 100%, you jump up a whole letter level, all the way to M. It's a way of recognizing the combined severity of your conditions. Now look, in a perfect world, the VA is supposed to see this on your record and just grant SMC automatically. But we don't live in a perfect world, and we know that just doesn't happen a lot of the time. So it is absolutely critical that you understand the kind of evidence you need to build your own strong case and get the benefits you're actually entitled to. And this right here, this is the official key to the kingdom. VA Form 212680. This is the form your doctor has to fill out. And it's not just a suggestion. It's basically the gateway for any aid in attendance or housebound claim. This is where your doctor takes all those daily struggles you have and translates them into the specific medical language the VA needs to see to approve your claim. But you know what? A doctor's form only tells part of the story. Honestly, some of the most powerful evidence you can submit isn't from a doctor you see for 15 minutes. It's from your spouse, your kids, your caregiver, the people who are with you every single day. These statements, they call them LACE statements, where they describe the real-world help you need. Things like, he can't be left alone, or she needs reminders to take her meds. That stuff is incredibly powerful to a VA rater. Okay, let's move up the ladder to one of the absolute highest levels of compensation the VA even offers. Congress actually created this one specifically to address the, quote, signature wound of the modern wars, severe traumatic brain injury, or TBI. And this benefit is called SMC-T. So to get SMC-T, which pays at the R-2 rate, we're talking over $11,000 a month, you have to meet this specific three-part test. 1, you need aid in attendance because of your TBI. Simple enough. 2, that care you get at home is the only thing keeping you out of a nursing home or hospital. But number 3, this is the one everyone gets wrong. You qualify for T if you need all that help, but you don't need daily skilled medical care from, say, a registered nurse. It was designed for that gap, for supervision and cognitive support, not complex medical procedures at home. It's a crucial distinction. And this chart, wow, it really just puts it all in perspective, doesn't it? I mean, look on the left, you've got your standard 100% rating. Then in the middle, a common aid and attendance level, SMC-L, and then all the way on the right, you see SMC R-2 or T. The jump is just, it's life-changing. And it's meant to be. It reflects the absolutely profound level of care and loss that these benefits were created for. So what are the big takeaways here? First, 100% is not the ceiling. Not even close. Remember that SMC-K is a special add-on, even for something the VA rates at 0%, like ED. Aid in attendance, SMC-L, that's all about your need for daily help. And don't forget, those personal statements from your family and caregivers, that's incredibly powerful evidence. And finally, for really severe conditions like TBI, there are specific, high-value paths you can take. The bottom line is, you have to be your own best advocate on this stuff. So I want to leave you with this one question to think about. After everything we've just gone over, I want you to really take a hard look at your own situation. Look at your disabilities, think about your daily challenges, and pull out that old rating decision. And then just ask yourself, what benefits have I earned that I'm not getting yet?